Hi there everybody, it's Agam, and I wanted to go over how to farm zul'farrak level 44 to 52 as a mage on the Wrath servers. Because a lot of people are probably coming back for the Joyous Journeys buff, they want to be able to level. And a lot of the stuff that we used in vanilla to farm this has been patched out. Mobs become immune to slow. Uh, a lot of the skip spot, or not the skip spots, but the reset spots have become snap spots, and you instantly die if you use them. um, which has added a degree of difficulty to doing this, but it's absolutely still possible, and not even a ton of gear is required, I don't think. Um, and we're going to go over a method that does not require invisibility potions, because I've noticed on a lot of servers that they're fairly expensive. Like, I've seen 70, 80 gold a stack, which is just not reasonable for a leveling method, in my opinion. And you should actually walk away from this farm with a fair deal of stuff you can sell for some currency, especially if you're running enchanting. You can get some nice materials so that people are going to be wanting to buy. So it's a nice way to get some of that money going to try and get your flight as soon as possible in Outlands on the way up. Anyways, enough of that. Let's get right into the method. I did learn about this from another guy named Diablo EU West. But his videos are all unlisted and they're linked in a Google Doc that's kind of cryptic and difficult to access. So I wanted to make this a little more available. First, we're going to go for this pull on the right. We're going to fireball the lowest health mob and then go for a flame strike. We're going to aim a little bit to the left and we're going to blink in. I failed it, that's okay. And go for a cone into a nova, kick that, and we're going to blizzard. And we're going to go for a little bit of shatter damage with this cone right as that's about to expire. Now, I do recommend having health potions for this farm. They're not usually terribly expensive, but if you're a lazy kiter like me, they're fairly helpful to get you going. Now this is a bit of an awkward situation, but it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. We're going to cope as best we can with the difficulties life has given us. And this guy's going to be immune to slow, so don't get baited by cone. You're going to want to go for a nova in this type of situation and just pray to God for a shatter proc. Yep. Now he's scared of me and I can frostbolt him again. That's honestly about as bad as that pull can go. Um, and that's kind of a tough combination of mobs too. It's not guaranteed that these are always going to be the same. My preference thus far has been, triple Blood Fury or double Shadowcaster with the low health. Having a Witch Doctor or two Witch Doctors in there can make that fairly difficult. We're gonna go for a jump onto this little rock here. Just line straight up at it. This is not a punishing jump. As long as there's not a pat right here, you're not going to pull anything for failing this jump, even at level 44. So you can try it a few times, get a feel for it. After we land it, we're going to dismount and then jump onto this pillar here. And we're going to remount, run behind this fire, this light here, jump onto this one, and then jump over to the other side. We're going to watch out for pats level 44. This would never work, so I'm just going to wait for the pat. A level 48, I probably could have squeezed by, but there's no reason to risk it. He's going to go back right away. And we're going to run up to this side here. And we're going to jump over this little thing here onto the wall. This one's a little bit tricky. You're going to walk up as far as you can. You're going to slow fall yourself. Notice I casted that. You're going to aim right at this vertical white line here. Just this one here that splits off at the bottom. This line. Aim right at it and you're going to jump at it. And you'll land here. You can mount up with your slow fall still up and just press W at this wall. And you'll end up on top of it. Then you step onto this rock and jump over to here. And everything is kind of simple pathing wise for a bit here. Just running along, jumping. Nothing crazy is going on. No mobs that you really have to dodge. There's a path that walks through here that you should be mindful of. Then you're going to jump up here and refresh the slow fall. We're going to try and reset this mob if you pull it. So let's go for an example here. Let's actually get aggro of it. Pull it. We're going to jump onto this wall, wait for it to snap, careful not to get dazed, and we jump over to here. And then we can stand here. And it will actually reset eventually. In most of the times I've done this, they reset. Sometimes they snap, which doctors are a bit finicky in particular. But in that case, you're just gonna have to kill it, and it's not a big deal to kill it generally. Um, as long as it's a single mob, it's not an issue. If it's also if it's a Shadow Hunter, you're just gonna have to kill it anyways. So this is total RNG whether or not you're gonna be able to reset this mob. Blood Furies reset pretty well. Witch Doctors are a bit finicky. The Soul Eaters reset pretty well. They're basically melees. I think it's something to do with the totems that the Witch Doctors spawn that make them weird. And then we're gonna jump off to the left side here, and we're gonna run to the zombies. There shouldn't really be any obstacles in your way from this point on. You're just gonna be running, running, running. Sometimes you get stuck. These silly little fucking spots. And we're here at the zombies. We're gonna get out and get our health and mana back here, and we're gonna go into how you can play the pull. Alright. Now to get into the pull, you don't need particularly powerful gear. To show that, I'm gonna pull the staff off, which is it's a whopping 68 spell power and 15 hit rating. It's a pretty good chunk of my power. Really just stamina and intellect should be all you really need to get through this. There's a pack coming on that side, so I'm gonna pull a different pack. So to start things up, and I'm also going to be playing a build without Ice Barrier, so I have a lot less defensive leeway than a typical Frost Mage build. So I'm going to start the pack, just right click some of these graves, Nova, immediately Blizzard. And we're going to Blizzard till like the last split second of Frost Nova, at which point we're going to Cone of Cold, kite out a bit, we're going to Flame Strike, and we're going for 3 Arcane Explosions. Okay, and we're going to Cone of Cold again, refresh that slow. This is the last slow that we're going to get. So we're going to Flame Strike, and we're going to Nova into Blizzard, because this is the point that I know that I can kill them with the Shatter damage. If you're even less geared than this, which is probably would be the case for a Fresh Mage, at the point where I went straight into a Nova with like 5 seconds left on Cone of Cold, you're just going to want to weave in a couple more Arcane Explosions to make the damage work. To cover that a little more in detail, I'll just do that pull in that style real quick. And I can take off even another fucking... Take off some more gear. Do I have anything? Yeah, like that. And the trinket. And we'll go for another pull. So start it up. Oh, this is really unlucky. There we go. Immediately into a blizzard. And we're going to shatter the Cone of Cold. Drop a Flame Strike. And you can mana barrier if things are sketchy. That's 3 Novas. Cone of Cold again. We're going to Flame Strike. Couple more Arcane Explosions before we Nova. And we Blizzard again. So they're at 1.2k instead of 1.5k when I start blizzarding. So that's how to get through that with even less gear. It's a bit tight, but it's definitely possible. Which is very, I was able to do this even at level 44 fairly well. And you can always adjust the pull size to your capability too. If you're really geared, you can rip some big pulls. If you're not very geared, you can, pull maybe 2 or 3 graves at a time, and it's still going to be a lot better than most things you're going to be able to do. Especially during the Joyous Journeys buff, you're going to be getting over 1,000 XP per mob without rested. It's pretty nuts. Let me know what you think. If you want to see some more content like this, trying to make some of these spots more available, or if you want to see more WoW content at all. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.